Should media companies have to distinguish between what is fact-checked and what is opinion? Hi, thanks for watching. Today is Friday, Fact Check Friday, and I have an interesting idea for you today. This comes from something that Mark Cuban put out over the weekend. Mark Cuban, entrepreneur, billionaire. Here's the story from The Hill. Mark Cuban wants media companies to clearly label fact-checked news and opinion. Billionaire Mark Cuban on Sunday vowed to vote for any politician who advocates for a law compelling media companies toward clearly labeling fact-checked news and opinions. Cuban went on to say such a law would reduce the partisanship in the country almost overnight in a series of tweets Sunday night. Now, to be clear, this is my opinion, but I don't think we need government regulations as to what the news is and what the news isn't. We know what that is, and this could be solved quite easily, I believed. It would take someone in the media turning on someone else in the media, and that is not going to happen. In fact, just this week, there's a story that ABC had quashed a story for many years, and a current CBS employee leaked footage of ABC News. ABC talked to CBS. That CBS employee is now without a job. The media companies cover for each other and they back each other up. And that's the problem, is I don't believe that media companies will call out what their competitors are doing. But back to the story. In the tweet, Mark Cuban says any politician that says they will push for a law that says no TV or streaming network can brand, market, or name themselves as a news network unless the 6 most viewed hours of every night is 80% fact-check news and opinion is clearly labeled opinion only, gets my vote. He says, in my opinion, that would reduce the partisanship in this country almost overnight. Well, there's a big problem with this. The government regulating that's not a good idea. We don't need more government regulations. But I do believe that news networks could do a better job by making it clear what is opinion and what is fact. Now, one suggestion that I would have, they're not going to do this, but one suggestion I have is, say, for example, we have Tucker Carlson or Rachel Maddow, and they will read a story and then give their opinion on it. And often that will kind of be intermixed. It's hard to separate the two. So what could make it clearer for the viewer is if Tucker or Rachel would kick it over to the news desk and have someone else read the news story and have it go back to the host so that they could give their opinion. I think this would be a better presentation. I think it would be better for everyone all around. They're not going to do that, but they could immediately make it more clear what is opinion and what is fact-checked. But I find it really interesting that Mark Cuban is calling for this when he himself could do something to solve this immediately. Look, Mark Cuban has the resources. He has production companies and TV networks and everything. He could do something about this immediately. See, I'll give you an example. I've been doing fact-checking for like a year and a half on my channel. I've done 30-something videos on fact-checking where I've checked PolitiFact, Snopes, Washington Post, New York Times, factcheck.org, AP, and so far, not a single organization has updated their story or has acknowledged the mistake that they have made. It hasn't happened. Now, this is probably because I'm a small channel and they may not have heard about it, or if they have, they know that I'm not big enough that they need to address it. And I understand that. But Mark Cuban has the resources to put out something right now that could call this out. In fact, I would say, Mark, if you would like, contact me. I would do a nightly show fact-checking the news, calling out what's facts, what's opinion. You could put it up on one of your networks or buy time to get it out there. You, as a billionaire, have the resources to change this overnight, because nobody in the media is going to call out their brother or sister in the media. The media companies cover for each other. To really address this, to actually make some change in fact-checking, you're going to need someone outside of the mainstream media news networks. And Mark Cuban, you could be that person. In fact, you could start a fact-check news network. It would be awesome. With your resources, you could produce a show. It could be a weekly show, a nightly show, doesn't matter, where you would fact-check all the other news networks. But I don't believe that you will do that. I know that you do have the resources that you could make a fact-checking show right now. But you're not going to do that because you like your relationship with the media. And it would definitely change. You would be on the wrong side. And I imagine there would be a whole lot of stories coming out about you that you might not care for. So you'll stick to making a suggestion on Twitter. But if you actually wanted to do something, you could do it. And if you need someone to help, let me know. Hey, if there's a story you'd like me to fact check, let me know in the comments. Have a great weekend. Peace.